shooting motion. Again, this is something that they tried to clean up a couple years ago. Watch this here. You're not going to. Yes.
I don't. From that angle.
And why there was a closeout by Fox, I'm not sure. I got to go back and watch the tape. But for sure, 100%, we told our guys, can't give up a three. Can't give up a three. Can't give up a three. Stay connected. Stay on the high side. Stay on the high side. I even drew an example, and we close out and we foul with 3 seconds to go. It's tough.
Because as an NBA head coach, ultimately you're going to get the blame. When they win, it's going to go to Sabonis and Fox. When you lose, it's going to go to Mike Brown. That's the way it works.
The Sacramento Kings have just fired Mike Brown, but was this decision pure basketball strategy or a huge mistake? Let's break this down. Here's a coach who turned the Kings from a laughingstock into a playoff team for the first time in nearly 2 decades. He even earned NBA Coach of the Year for his efforts, and yet he's now out of a job. This isn't just about Mike Brown, it's about a franchise with a troubling history of mismanagement, impatience, and dysfunction. As former Kings coach Mike Malone once said about this organization, their decision-making lacks both class and courage. What does this mean for the Kings' future and their fans? Let's play the blame game. When the Kings hired Mike Brown, the expectations were clear. Rebuild a franchise that hadn't sniffed the playoffs in nearly 2 decades, and he delivered in spectacular fashion. Last season, Brown led the Kings to 48 wins, securing the 3rd seed in a brutal Western Conference. Under his leadership, they went from obscurity to relevancy overnight, and for his efforts, Brown was named NBA Coach of the Year. Sacramento's fans finally had hope, but it seems the front office had other ideas.
No, it's not something that you expected, and definitely didn't know that, that little conversation that's really normal would have been the last one of him as our head coach.
This season, the Kings stumbled out of the gate with a 13-18 record. Sure, it's a disappointing start, but let's be fair, the Western Conference is stacked with contenders, injuries have plagued key players, and the roster is still finding its chemistry. These are challenges any coach would face. Did the Kings' front office really believe a slow start justified firing the man who turned the team around? It seems short-sighted at best. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time the Kings have made a puzzling coaching decision. Just ask Mike Malone, who was controversially fired in 2015 after only 24 games into his 2nd season. Reflecting on Brown's dismissal, Malone didn't hold back, and I'm not surprised that Mike Brown got fired because I got fired by the same person, he said, referring to Kings owner Vivek Ranadive. Malone went even further, calling the organization's leadership classless and lacking balls. If history is any indicator, this firing reflects deeper issues within the Kings' front office. In place of Mike Brown, the Kings appointed Doug Christie as interim head coach. Christie is a beloved figure in Sacramento, a fan favorite who played for the team during their early 2000s glory days. But as much as fans love Christie, there's a glaring issue. He has no significant coaching experience at the NBA level. This move feels more like a PR stunt to appease frustrated fans than a calculated basketball decision. How exactly does Christie's inexperience help the Kings salvage their season? Adding more intrigue to the Kings' turmoil are the swirling rumors about Fox's dissatisfaction with the organization. Fox, the team's franchise cornerstone and star point guard, has reportedly grown frustrated with the lack of stability and direction. Speculation has emerged that Fox might consider leaving Sacramento if the team fails to right the ship. Losing a talent like Fox would be catastrophic for the Kings, especially after years of building the roster around him. This rumor underscores just how high the stakes are for the franchise and how firing Mike Brown could further alienate their star player. Mike Brown's firing isn't just a Sacramento issue, it's part of a growing trend across the NBA. Coaches are increasingly treated as disposable, expected to deliver immediate results or face the axe.
Very disappointed to hear the news. Mike is a great friend, great coach. We all kind of know this is the nature of the business, but it just seems so shocking when a guy is the unanimous coach of the year a year and a half ago. And when you think about where that franchise was before Mike got there, where they've been the last couple of years, the job that he and his staff have done, it's just really shocking. And I know that I feel very fortunate to work in an organization that really values continuity. And
But building a championship culture takes time, patience, and stability. By making these impulsive decisions, teams undermine their own long-term growth. The Kings in particular seem to prioritize short-term optics over sustained success. How can any franchise thrive under such conditions? The decision to fire Brown sends a terrible message to players and fans. It signals that even excellence is expendable if immediate results aren't achieved. For a team that has spent years struggling to escape mediocrity, this kind of instability is a recipe for disaster. If the Kings can't learn from their mistakes and commit to a consistent vision, how can they hope to build a winning culture? Sacramento's fans are some of the most loyal in the league, enduring years of heartbreak and futility. Last season gave them hope, a reason to believe their team was finally headed in the right direction. But this decision feels like a betrayal. Firing the coach who brought the franchise back to life is a slap in the face to fans who deserve better. Despite the setback, Mike Brown's reputation remains intact. He's proven himself as one of the league's top coaches and will undoubtedly land another opportunity. His time in Sacramento is a reminder of what's possible when a franchise gives its coach the tools and support to succeed. Unfortunately, the Kings couldn't see it through. Mike Malone's words ring true. This organization's decision-making lacks both class and courage. The Kings' decision to fire Mike Brown reflects a deeper problem within the franchise, an inability to commit to long-term growth. If this gamble fails, the blame won't rest on Brown's shoulders, but on an organization that still hasn't learned how to win. What's next for the Kings after firing Mike Brown? Can they finally break the cycle of dysfunction, or is this the beginning of another wasted season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on all things NBA. Peace.